this day. If not, do understand and get your life, your day is going to get better once your perception gets better. This morning, I was here watching a video that I had did with this amazing creator, and her name is Ozma. Okay, and I remember I had did this video. This video is here on YouTube, and I remember I had did this video. Oh my goodness! Let me tell you something. To the ones that's out there, and perhaps you think that you just here by accident, right? Like you think that there's no purpose in your life, that you just came here to suffer, that there's like a dark cloud that's walking with you every step of the way. I am here to tell you, you are chosen. You were chosen for a reason to come here. I remember a few days ago, I was listening to Dolores Cannon, and one of the things she said was, she said that Earth is the toughest planet to be on, right? Because it is a school and we are here to learn. So, to the ones that's out there, I am here to tell you. You may be going through some things right now, and it may seem scary, and it may seem like you don't have the answers. It may seem like your life is never going to get better, but I am here to tell you it's going to get better. I am here to tell you that things are working out in your favor. You are looking at a person. I used to go to a psychologist, okay? Because I felt like my life at the time, it was falling apart, okay? And it was falling apart so it could come together. And you may be feeling that way too. You may feel like your life is falling apart, like you don't have the answers, that is never going to get better. It is going to get better. It will get better. See, sometimes in life, you are experiencing the after effect. You are experiencing things in your life where as though you've been conditioned to think a certain way. You've been conditioned to believe certain things. And those things, they not working. Those things, they're not helping. Okay. And so now it's for you to look at your life and say, well, I know what I've been conditioned to believe. I know what I've been taught, how I've been taught to think, but this isn't working. And therefore, let me do something different. And it may seem scary at first. It may seem that you don't have all the answers. It may seem that you don't know what steps to make. And let me tell you, from me experiencing suffering, okay? Because suffering is a choice. You listen, suffering is a choice. Pain is inevitable, meaning that we all experience pain. And it says it in the Bible. It rains on the just and also on the unjust. So just because you experience pain, that does not mean that your life is no good, or it does not mean that your life can't get better. It does not mean that your life doesn't have meaning. No, it's for you to take whatever it is that you have experienced and get the lesson from that thing so you can teach someone else. That's really what it's about. Hold on 1 minute. I'm doing this, Amani.
I go outside.
Yeah, no, you have to wait until I'm done. And it's for you to look at that and for you to experience that and for you to teach someone else. When I was in a transitional housing, right, St. Joseph to be exact, in Jersey City, wonderful place, especially for moms who perhaps don't have nowhere to go and have children. And when I was in St. Joseph, it was a wonderful experience. I was there. It was nuns who ran the place. And it was really, really amazing. And one of the things that you want to understand and get, that everything that happens to you in life, it is not for you. Like, you looking at your life and you thinking like, oh, well, this is for me. And you taking it so personal, but it's not for you. The things that you experience is not for you. It's for you to get something from that and for you to get the lesson and then bring it back to somebody else and say, oh no, you're going to be all right. I've been through something like this similar, or I've been through things that has been worse than this. And I am able to pull myself up and inspire myself and every day allow God to walk through me. And I know that you have the same exact ability as me because we are one and the same. Okay. Meaning that we all have the same amount of potential within us. Is all according to, are you using your potential or not? Are you listening to those downloads that you constantly get each and every day? And don't say that you don't get downloads, because each and every one of us get downloads. Each and every one of us, we have an intuition. Each and every one of us have a guidance system that if we listen to it, our lives will be better. But it's the choice, it's the choosing. Am I going to listen to my guidance system, or am I going to listen to my family? Am I going to listen to the God in me telling me that I should open up the business, telling me that I should do this, or telling me that I should do that? Or am I going to listen to my family that's telling me things based upon their belief system? And you have to make the choice. You have to make the decision. Who are you going to listen to? And you can't ask God for more money if you're not willing to do the ideas that God is constantly giving to you each and every day. Each and every day, God is giving you ideas to do this, to do that, to do that. And you don't move upon it. One of the things that I'm so grateful and thankful for is for anxiety. Now, some of you guys, you may experience anxiety and you may be like, oh my goodness, yes, I am grateful for experiencing anxiety. I don't give myself no label, no title. I'm grateful for experiencing depression. And the reason being is because it was getting me to see that the persona that I was wearing, the mask that I was wearing, it was not helping. And I felt so empty at the end. I felt like, that I was here. I was unrelatable. You get what I'm saying? Here it is. I'm trying to be so perfect, but I related to no one. Why? Because it was a facade that I was wearing. It was a mask that I was wearing. All my stuff was together. I never experienced anything. And it came to a breaking point where as though it felt like, oh my goodness, this is not real. This is not real. And so I had to do something different. And that different, it had to cost me the old version of myself. It had to cost me the part of myself that it was a lie. It was a facade. It was a persona. It was, act like everything is really good. Like you don't experience nothing, look down on people, okay? And operate through life like that. Buy all the stuff that you want, the bags, the pocketbooks, the perfume, and all this other stuff. Buy all that stuff and just, mask that pain with materialized possessions. And it did not go well, okay? It did not go well because what it was letting me to see was that although you have these things and you buried so deep in the subconscious mind, you don't want to deal with those things. And you keep on wondering why these things keep coming up. And they come up in relationships. They come up in your money. They come up in all these different things. And you don't want to deal with it. And so since you don't want to deal with it and you want to run from it, whatever you run from it, it just chases after you. Whatever you run from, it is going to chase after you. And so it comes a point in time where, as though, in the words of Michael Bernard Beckwith, one of the things he says is, your pain will push you while your passion pulls you. Or your pain will pull you while your passion, no, what I said the first time, okay? All right? And so you got to understand that your life is not your life. Yeah, you taking everything personal. Oh, my life is this. It happened to me. My family is this, my family. No. What lesson are you learning in it? If you don't learn the lesson, it's not about you hating them. It's not about you hating the government or any of those things. It's about you looking at your life and understand that you are a transformer. You looked at the movie and said, oh, it's about cars and stuff. No, you are the transformer. You have the ability to look at your life and say, you know what? I don't like where my life is going, the direction that it's going. I don't like the way I've been living my life. So therefore, I'm going to do something different. And back in 2018, right? It's good to reflect. It's good to do go back and reflect. Like, oh my goodness, it's really good to reflect. I'm looking for it now. Hopefully, I can find it. All right, I can't. Whatever. 2018, right?
I used to watch
I remember. I was 2018. I was listening to, and this is what really did it for me. And I'm gonna share this story to let you guys know that you have what it takes. Okay. In 2018, me and my oldest son, we were always like, we would listen to the same thing majority of the time. Like when I'm listening to, like he didn't have an issue with listening to it. And I remember I was listening to Rapper B.O.B. Okay, shout out to Rapper B.O.B. And I always was seeking truth, right? If somebody would have said, what you doing, whatever, and shout out to my grandmother, because back in the day, my grandmother, she would watch like all these programs, Like It Is, back in the day. Like she would watch different things. And different things in a sense where as though it spark intellect, it spark you asking questions, right? These interviews and stuff like that. And as a kid, I didn't want to watch Like It Is and stuff like that, or watch those programs that my grandmother was watching and stuff like that, but she would watch those things. And I remember back in 2018, right? So I did different religions. Okay. I did Hebrew Israelites. Thanks to the super chat, I think it is. I did Hebrew Israelite. Okay, first I did the Baptist thing. I didn't get baptized, but I would go to the church and stuff like that. The church that was down the projects, that was across the street from the projects, right? A church that me and my sister would go to like on a regular at times. And so, as I became older, life started happening, and it's like you just looking for an answer. You looking for a way to, for your life to go better. And you start turning to God, right? Because you have this concept that God is outside you, that if you was to go to the church, whatever, that you're gonna get the answers and stuff like that. And the only way you can get the answers if you go to the church and listen to what the preacher or the pastor or whomever gives you the answers that you seeking. And so I would just go to the church and stuff like that. And it seemed like things in my life, it wasn't getting no better. And the reason being is because I'm listening to the information, but I'm not applying the information. And not only that, I'm thinking God is outside me. I'm thinking that God is in the sky. God is, God is in the sky. God is a jealous God. God is a stingy God. Like all these different concepts that we grow up believing, right? And oftentimes the relationship that you have with God is oftentimes the relationship that you have with their authority figure that raised you. So it could be your mother or your father. The way you see God oftentimes is the way you see the person who raised you. Okay. And so, I started going to church. After I started going to church, after that, I started, because I seen like, all right, church, it's not, I'm still going through stuff. Like I'm still suffering. No one ever told me that everything that I was going through or experiencing, it was all because I was inflicting it on myself. Meaning that it's maybe times that I didn't want to do certain things, right? Probably for family members. But then I felt like I was obligated to do it. So I was scared to say no. And so therefore I would do it, although I didn't want to do it. And so now I'm going against God. I'm going against myself, right? Because I don't want to do it. But because it was embedded in me, oh, you have to do this or you have to do that. You have to be there for family and all this other stuff. So I just would do it. Okay. So that was that. So nobody ever told me like everything that you're going through, it is because of your belief systems. I didn't even know nothing about belief systems or any of that terminology. Okay. And so although I'm listening to these things, I'm going to the church, I'm doing this and that, I'm still feeling the same exact way. Right. So now I'm thinking like, all right, so now I got to go to a different church, go to a different box, a different belief system, right? Now let's do Nation of Islam. Let's do Muslim. And let me tell you something. All those religions, they all have the same thing in common. Okay. If you go back, they all have the same exact thing in common. And I want you to understand that is all according to your perception of things. That's really what this is, your perception of things. And so I'm doing the Nation of Islam. And I remember one day I was like, God, if this is not for me, pretty much, like, give me a sign, give me a message, right? And I never forgot. Now, this is the time I'm going to the mosque. I went to the mosque, I think, like 3 times, whatever. And it's so funny because I was trying to get my sister Melissa to go with me to the mosque and stuff, right? Now, she was Muslim. She was in Nation of Islam, but when she got married, she became Muslim. Her husband was Muslim and stuff like that. Her husband was from Africa. And so she became Muslim. But then later on, like, I know some people say, you're not on your deen anymore, meaning pretty much that you're not like on your teachings and stuff, right? And so I remember it was one particular time we were supposed to go to the masjid, right? And I was like, come on, let's go, whatever. And she ain't really want to go. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, you don't want to go, whatever. It was like that. This was not the time I was doing things like on my own, really. Like, I would do some things on my own, but like going to something like that, I was not finna do that by myself at that time. And so she ain't really want to do it. And I kept on following the teachings and stuff like that. And I remember one day I was in a house and I came across a YouTube video. And this YouTube video, it was a brother who was saying like 3 blind mice. And he was saying like the people that was following, right, following this person, he was basically saying that they was 3 blind mice. Remember, I asked God to give me a message, like, let me know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm here to tell you, if you ask, I'm telling you, you will find the answers. You got to spend some time with yourself. There's so many times where as though I got advice for legal things, okay, like debt collectors, whatever it is. I meditated, I left it alone. I asked God for the message, got the message, the case is thrown out. I am here it's so much power within you that if you only tap into it, if you only go within and ask God for guidance, ask God for the answers already in you, okay? But if you're paying attention to the problem more so than the solution, you can't even receive the answer because you focus so much on a damn problem. You can't be focused on a problem. You got to be focused on the solution. There's a solution. I know there's a solution. I'm talking about debt collectors. I'm talking about tickets. Whereas though a cop actually said he seen me, okay? 4 tickets, dismissed, went to court. The cop showed up. He seen me on a record. He seen me on the camera. He got off the camera and said, I never seen this lady a day in my life. Dismissed, okay? So don't tell me that God does not dwell in you. Don't tell me that the answers is not in you. Don't tell me that there is a guidance system that each and every day that is guiding you each and every day, but only if you listen. Only if you stop with the distractions, listening to all this foolishness and tap into your inner power. I'm telling you, and it doesn't mean that your life, you're not going to go through challenges, because I'm not going to say that. You're going to still experience challenges, but challenges help you grow. That's one. And then 2, when you experience those challenges, that's not for you. It's for you to be an inspiration to someone else. Oh, I know you're going through this. Let me tell you what I did to pick myself up. It's for you to be, you taking things so personal and thinking that it's all about you. It has nothing to really do with you, but just for you to deliver the message to someone else to let them know that they're going to be okay. All right. And so I went through this thing. I went through the Nation of Islam, whatever. Stop going to the masjid and stuff like that. Now I'm on to something different, right? It's like a junkie looking for a fix. Now I'm on to Hebrew Israelites, looking for all these different answers outside of myself, whatever. And so I'm doing the Hebrew Israelite thing, and it's some answers that's being answered, but some things it's not really making sense. It's not really clicking, you know? And so, one of the things was that you are chosen. Like, some people are chosen, some aren't. I went through this whole thing where as though they was the Hebrew Israelites was saying like if your father isn't from the tribe or something, I forgot exactly what it was, but I was like, oh my goodness. Now and I'm going in the back of my head, like, oh my goodness, is my father really from there? Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was nuts. That's what it was. And so I'm going through this and I'm like, oh my goodness, is my father from there? That means that I'm not going to go to heaven. Like, all this other stuff. Oh my goodness. You get your eyebrows done, you're not going to heaven. You wear pants, you're not going to heaven. I'm here telling my children, I'm like, you know what? I'm about my oldest son. He brings this up into the day. He'd be like, you remember you told me you was gonna get me that shirt that had the tassels at the bottom of it, whatever it is. I'm wearing dresses now. I'm not getting my brows done. I'm like, if I get my brows done, I'm gonna go to hell. It was so crazy. It was so crazy. But I am so grateful and thankful for those experiences. Okay. And so I'm doing a Hebrew Israelite thing. And I'm like, oh, this is it. This is it. But then I still seen my life was going in a certain direction. My life, it would get better, but then it would go back down to the way it was before. And what that was, I was excited for the information that I was getting, but it was like I was an information junkie. Like I'm getting all this information, I'm getting all this stuff, but I'm not applying it to my life. And also me not understanding that I am the creator of my reality. No one ever said that until one day. Me and my oldest son, we took a drive. It was snowy outside. And I had this moment where as though, driving or going for long rides to me is very therapeutic for me. And so me and my oldest son, I'm like, let's go for a ride. We go for this ride. I come across Rapper B.O.B. Now I listen to Rapper B.O.B. music, but I didn't know like he would talk about this stuff. And this is the first person that I heard that talked about this in a sense from not ego driven, right? It was no ego. I felt before he could even say the next, like before I have a question, right? Say I got a question in my mind. Before I could articulate it and speak it, he already answering it. And I was like, what the hell? So me and my oldest son, we driving is dark. We go to walk. No, at the time it was Dwayne Reed. We go to Dwayne Reed. I get him. I remember this day like hotcakes. Okay. I go to Dwayne Reed. I get him a strawberry. You know those Nesquik milks, right? I get him a strawberry Nesquik milk. And he's younger, I think at the time he probably was like about 15 years old or so. So, or probably young, probably about 13. I want to say 13, 14. So we go to Dwayne Reed and I would listen to all this stuff about the celebrities and stuff like that, how they were and all this other stuff, conscious community or older celebrities is this, all these different things. And me and my oldest son, we first was listening to this lady who was talking about the people in the industry, about Hollywood. And I remember we got a little scared, right? So what we did was, for some reason or another, I came across Rapper B.O.B. video. It was like on the suggestion side. And this is the first time Rapper B.O.B., he started talking about Kundalini. He started talking about your Kundalini rising. He started talking about chakras. He started talking about the subconscious mind. He started talking about like the eating, manifestation, like all these different things. Tantra. He started talking about visualization, meditation, like all these different things. And at that time, I was like, what the hell? But it felt so right. Like when you hear the truth, you shall know it. Like when you hear somebody speaking, you shall know it because it sits right with your soul. Okay. And I knew it was truth that he was speaking because it felt so right. And remember what I said before I could articulate the question, the answer was coming. He was already spitting out the answer. And this was the first time that I ever heard somebody say, like, everything is within you. The answers that you seek is within you. It was an ego driven, it was none of that. And so that's what really made me connect it more to, his videos and stuff like that. He used to have a bunch of videos on YouTube, like lectures and stuff like that. I don't know what happened to the videos because if you go back, you try to search them, they're not there. So, anywho, after that, I remember I just was like fascinated about the teachings and stuff like that, knowing that I am a creator, knowing that I get to create the life, knowing that everything that has happened up into my life, up until this point, that it was all due to my creativity, or due to me believing that this is what I deserve. Getting into relationships with guys, right? Feeling like I deserve to come second, feeling like this is what I'm good enough for, feeling like because I have children, this is what I have to settle for. And, all those different things. And so, whatever you got going on in the inside, your outer side is going to reflect it. Okay. And so, going through all of this and that. And then, after that, I started doing the work, right? I started eating a certain type of way. And one of the things I'm going to say to you is this: your spirituality is not going to look like anybody else's, and it shouldn't, because it's about you being authentic to you. Okay. It's about you doing certain things and trying certain things and saying, all right, well, this does not work for my life. Everybody is on the spiritual journey, whether they know it or not, but when you look at your life, you say, all right, this doesn't work for my life. I need to do something different. Now you can listen to all these teachings, but you, at the end of the day, my love, you are a student of life. And you're not a follower. Don't be a follower. Because if you're a follower, honey, you're gonna be like a sheep, okay? Led to the slaughterhouse. You are a student. You are to look at your life and say, does this work for me? And if it doesn't work, you do something different. But it's for you to use your discretion. It's for you to use your perception and say, you know what, it doesn't work for me. Things like that. And do something different. And so I'm doing all these different things. I'm eating healthy and stuff like that. But it was still part of me that I still wanted to eat meat. Okay. And then I remember, I felt so much guilt because now in the spiritual community or the conscious community, they say, oh, you're not supposed to eat meat, all this other stuff. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, now I'm not supposed to eat meat. So it's still constraints, right? It's still like, boxes to be in. And I'm like, what the hell? Right. So I stopped eating meat. And then it was a part of me that I just didn't want to eat meat. So I stopped eating meat like altogether. Okay. And then I found myself like going back to meat. And then I listened to somebody else not to eat meat. So it was like a constant ongoing thing. And I had to check in with myself. Right? Like, Dina, what is it that you want to do? Like, you listening to these people, what is it that you want to do? Right? And so I started eating meat again. Okay. And so as I'm eating meat again, one of the things that I had to go back, because I used to say, wait, I was getting downloads when I was eating meat. My intuition was still speaking to me when I was eating meat. In fact, my intuition was speaking to me when I was eating meat, when it told me that I should do these videos, right? And so I had to get rid of all of that noise, all right? And start understanding that everything is within me. And I started making videos. When I started making videos, was I scared? You're absolutely right. I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't have like the whole blueprint on what to make the videos about. Okay. It was times I would wake up and be like, damn, what video I'm going to make about today? Right. And so what I did was, all right, well, I was making videos already. Not making videos. I'm going to do what I was doing before. And what I was doing before, I was juicing behind cameras. Nobody was watching, but I brought it to Facebook. Well, actually, I brought it to YouTube first and those numbers. And then I started going to Facebook. And so I was doing the same exact thing. It's always a constant evolving. You should always be evolving. If you're doing the same thing each and every day and you like, oh my goodness, my life isn't working, it's because you are stuck. You keep doing the same exact thing. The stuff that you're doing is outdated. It don't work. And instead of you being obedient, listening to that God within you, you are listening to your family members telling you shouldn't do this or how wrong this is and you shouldn't do that. And if you open your business, there's no security. Well, let me tell you something about security, my loves. There's no security. Only security there is security within you. Okay, that's the only security that you will ever have is the security within you. You think that these jobs, you're like, oh, well, I'm well secured. Honey, they could fire you tomorrow. The only security is within yourself. And that's what you believe, how you view yourself, your belief system about yourself, how you see that you are worthy of the best of the best. That's the security. Because if you see, it doesn't matter where you go, it doesn't matter how you get fired. None of those things matter. If you know that you was created for the best of the best, if you know God wants you to taste the best foods, wants you to go to the best places, wants you to experience the best that life has to offer you, it doesn't matter what happens to you in life, okay? It doesn't matter what goes on. And why you think so many millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires, if they lose their income, they make it right back up? The reason being is because how they see themselves. The reason being is because the perception that they have of themselves. They don't look at themselves and say, oh no, I was created to suffer. I was created to feel just pain and go through, to live like a bum. No, they look at themselves and say, I deserve the best of the goddamn best. It's a mindset. It's a belief system. It's not, let me say, not even a belief system. It's a knowingness. Is a knowingness. And so when you look at your life and whatever it is that's showing up in your life, look at it from a standpoint of what is this thing trying to teach me? Is it trying to teach me that I'm rushing? It's so many times I brought a vehicle and the vehicle wound up a few months later, wasn't working. Why? Because I was rushing. Because a part of me felt like, oh, well, when I get this vehicle or when I get this, my life is going to be so much better. No, your life be so much better because you deserve better. Because you deserve the best of the best. That's why your life is going to be better. Not because no external thing. Not because no external thing. It's because of internally. Like, I deserve the best. I was created for the best. God wants me to experience the best that life has to offer me. The best foods, the finest hotels, the finest condos. God wants that for me. And let me tell you something. Just because it don't happen overnight, that does not mean for you to stop. Okay? Now, let's fast forward. 2018. I'm going through this whole thing. I'm making the videos. You may not see nothing. And in the words of narrow knowledge, manifestation is not your external. Manifestation is not wanting your life. Manifestation is basically not you wanting your life to change in a sense where as though you like, oh, well, I'm manifested. If I manifested that car, that's when I'm going to be happy. No, manifestation is you be happy now. You be happy now. You're not waiting for your external to change. You're going to be happy now. You're not going to put your happy weight on layaway. No, you be happy now. You be happy in this moment because there's so many things in your life right now that you should be grateful and thankful for. And so, I'm doing the videos and stuff 2018. Okay, I'm making the videos, pumping out the content every day, several times a day. Didn't feel like a job because it was something that I absolutely love. My mother even told me, she said, Dina, you know what? You so obsessed. It's like you obsessed with Facebook or YouTube. Every time I turn around, you on there. It wasn't an obsession. It was just like I felt like I had a message and I wanted people to understand that they didn't have to suffer. That's what it really was. And I was showing up day after day after day. Monetization on Facebook, there was not a thing in 2018. I was pumping out videos like hotcakes. I was pumping out videos like I was working in the trap house. I was pumping out these videos so much, right? And so nothing. I didn't see nothing. I didn't do it for the money. I didn't do it for the money. In fact, it was calling me because I was like, oh my goodness, how could I make videos? Right? You had that chatter in your mind, you're not good enough, you don't know enough, right? That chatter, and it was telling me all this other stuff. You don't have a degree in it. What makes you qualified to talk about this and that? And so I kept making the videos. I kept making the videos. And then I had seen that the videos they was doing okay. They was doing okay. I preferred for them to, but I remember one day I went to Dollar Tree. One day I went to Dollar Tree. Now, remember I said the new version of yourself, that old version is gonna cost you something. You're gonna have to get rid of that identity. Okay. And this is an ongoing thing. Every day you should be getting to know yourself, the new version of you. Every day there should be a shift, a change, or something in your life. Okay, every day. All right. Whether you learn something new, one thing new, it should be constantly evolving thing. Because let me tell you something. If you're not growing, you're dying. Okay. You are dying if you're not growing. You have to be open to new ideas. And back in the day, Dollar Tree, what? I thought Dollar Tree was beneath me. My sister, she would say to me, you should go to Dollar Tree. And I would be like, Dollar Tree? I'm not going to Dollar Tree. And this one day, I went to Dollar Tree, right? Now, this is the time where as though the only thing, I'm not doing no job. I'm not doing no job, okay? I went on a interview or two, but didn't get the job, right? And I was like, I'm just going to stick to this. I went to Dollar Tree. It was like my inner child came out. I don't know what it was. I guess the new items at Dollar Tree or whatever. You want to say hello?
Hi.
My youngest daughter, Monty. I went to Dollar Tree and I went there and the items that they had there, it wasn't about the amount of money. It was, $1.25 or whatever it is now. Dollar Tree is plus Dollar Tree. But it was nothing about that. It was all about how my inner child felt. I felt so elated. I felt like it was my calling. I'm in here doing videos and stuff like that. And then people would come up to me. People would come up to me. They would ask me like, oh my goodness. And people would say this. Let me tell you something. Synchronicities, you receive these downloads every day and people will let you know like if that's the thing that you're supposed to do. Because it's like God is speaking through them. Okay. And so I'm in Dollar Tree. I'm doing the videos and stuff like that while I'm in Dollar Tree. And one of the things, what, you want to come right here? You want to come right here?
Where?
You want to be in the video?
Yeah.
All right, come over here.
Where?
And so I'm doing the videos in Dollar Tree, right? And as I'm doing the videos in Dollar Tree, one of the things that I noticed was this. People are coming up to me and they saying, oh my goodness, like you have the voice for this. And I'm like, what? Them people, and this wasn't like a whole bunch of people, but every time I would make a video, it felt like people would come up to me, and I did do sales. I worked at Home Depot, I worked for a vendor company. So I did sales and stuff like that. I always, when I did sales, I always was polite to the customers and stuff like that because they the ones that's bringing in the money, right? Well, really, it's you bringing in the money, but according the way you treat the person is really how you treat yourself. But anyway, so I'm in there and I'm, the people was like, one lady, I never forget Tony. I never forget Tony. Tony is Italian, right? And I'm in Dollar Tree and Tony comes up to me. I see her in a few L's, like the L I'm in. And I could always tell if the person is like, I don't know, if the person is, I don't want to say like want to follow me, on social, but I could always tell like if the person, it likes the content, right? Because I could go in another L and they be in another L. They go in another L and they'll say to me, they say, like, oh my goodness, you on social media, aren't you? And I tell them, And it feels so good. It feels so good to be connected, right? To like an actual tribe based upon your vibe, you know? Like to build a community. And not just any community, but a community of love, a community of prosperity, a community of values, a community of sharing, right? It feels really, really amazing. And this didn't happen overnight, you know. But I believed. I kept on going. God tell me to do something. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but when when my intuition tell me to move, I move. It sounds weird as though I may not want to do that thing. Just this past weekend when my oldest son, he's out in PA, driving a PA, doing the Dollar Tree, and I'm near, and a part of me didn't want to get out at the last place. I did not want to go out. I did not want to get out, and I never forgot. I went on Chat GPT. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know. And I was like, but I'm out of town. And Chat GPT was like, well, yeah, make a video, right? Make a video. And I made the video. And so listen, what you building is not about you. All right. It's about the people that you get to inspire. And you get to inspire them based upon God working through you. It's not like, oh, well, this is me. It's not like this is me. This is God working through me, you know? And it feels so good to know that, you may think that you here alone. You may think like, well, my family gave up on me or whatever it is. God is always with you. God is always working on your behalf. It's not a such thing as you finishing late or you're not where you need to be. No, you are exactly where you need to be. Exactly where you need to be. The other day I did a video, right? And it's not about working hard. All right, get that out of your mind. Oh, well, I gotta work hard in order to prove my worthiness of God. It sounds where as though I go through that too, but I can assure you it's not about that, because it's so many times, the viral, my video that's up to I think 2.3 million views right now on Facebook. That video, it wasn't a working hard video. It didn't feel like a working hard. I was not working hard. In fact, I was in bed when I did it. Okay. So the concept of this notion, I have to work hard. No, you don't. You don't. It's not about working hard. It's about alignment. That's what it's about. It is about alignment. It's not about you working hard, because you can work so hard, but if you're not in alignment, guess what? You're still not going to see the things that you desire to see. You have to be in alignment. So what does that mean? Before I go make a video, I tell myself, I am deserving. I tell myself, I am the best of the best. I tell myself these things. And I tell myself, let's go. Let's go, Dina. You got this. This is my talk. This is my cheerleader version. This is me being my own hype man. Okay. And when I go into the Dollar Tree, every day I'm listening to personal development. There's not a day that go by I don't listen to personal development. Every day I'm listening to personal development. Okay. And when I go inside the stores, I just give my all. Okay, I just give my all. I speak to the people that's in here, and shout out to the Dollar Tree employees, because they really be delivering. Okay, like they help me out so much, when especially the Dollar Tree by my home. Oh my goodness, it's phenomenal. When I come in, they let me know like the new items and stuff, and I bring it to you guys. So look at your life like is a canvas. Is an evolving canvas. Is an everyday evolving canvas. You are the Picasso. You get to paint whatever it is that you want on that canvas. You get to draw whatever it is that you want to draw. It is up to you. Look at yourself and know that you deserve it. Look at yourself, know that you're worthy. Look at yourself and know that God wants the best of the best for you. You deserve the best. You think you came here to suffer? You think you came here to live a mediocre, a basic, unfulfilling life? Just work all day, work, and just pay bills at the end? Hell no, that's not for. Let me tell you something. It's according to perception now. If you believe that's for your life and that's what you was created to do, then kudos to you. But I can tell you, that is not a life of fulfillment. You are here to serve, to be of service. You are here to give. You are here to inspire. Okay, and you are here to live a really good life, and it may not happen overnight, and be fine with that. Be fine of where you are, because let me tell you something. When your life start changing, it'll be moments there that you will go back to the times where you had the go to the supermarket and get a pack of ramen noodles, okay? Because probably that's all you had money for. And you'll be grateful for those times because at least you had money for a pack of ramen noodles, okay? You'll go back to the times where so you never lose touch, you go back to the times where so you was on welfare and Section 8 and stuff like that. And you look at those times and you say, I'm so grateful that the help was available to me when I needed it. And then you become this multi-millionaire. And guess what? Now you are able to connect to the people that's on the Section 8, on the welfare, and you able to uplift them and inspire them and let them know that they don't have to stay there, that they have the potential and the ability to create and design whatever phenomenal life that it is that they want to design, whatever phenomenal life that they truly feel that they are worth, and keep on creating and being a phenomenal being that they were created to be, and keep on showing up and allowing God to work through them and bless the people that are around them, and let them know that you know what, you have the potential. You are created and destined for greatness. There's not a such thing as disease. There's not a such thing as poverty, only if you include that into your reality. Okay. And reality is an illusion. All right. So let the ones that feels like, oh, she's really off the deep end now. Okay. Let them get off of here. All right. Reality is an illusion. If reality was real, we would pretty much all have the same exact perception. Reality is an illusion. It's all according to your perception, what you believe life is to be. If you believe that you're here to suffer, well, work with that, okay? But if you know that you have came here and you are destined for greatness, that God wants the best, and I do mean the best, the very best for you, that God wants you, that you are created in abundance, that you are wealthy, okay, that you are deserving. Honey, you show up different. You show up different. The way you show up, all right, the way you start showing up, people who may have not even liked you, honey, they just got to watch you. Because they may not like, and they don't even know why they don't like you. They don't like you because they listen into a belief system, something that they've been conditioned to believe. The way they think, it's not even them thinking. It's somebody else it's somebody else that's telling them how to think, okay? But you have what it takes, and you are destined for greatness, and you keep on showing up. And I am here to tell you, if you don't like what's showing up in your life, it is due to what you are creating. And so therefore you ask yourself, what could I create? Okay. It was a guy who was following me on here, and I never forgot, he had super chatted me $200, okay, from my content. And I remember I had made a statement of, if people are treating you a certain type of way, it's because how you view yourself. If people are treating you like shit, it's because the way you view yourself, you believe that you deserve to be treated like that. And this guy, he got upset. He unfollowed me. And a part of me was like, oh my goodness, he gave me the $200. And I just hear God, you don't get money from him. The money was this super chat. It was just going through him. But the money, if you think any of these things like, oh, it comes from these people, it comes from my employer, it comes from this, it comes from that, honey, you are a lost source. Because the moment those people feel that you're not doing what they want you to do, the moment they feel that you're not speaking the way they want you to speak, honey, they're taken from you. But let me tell you this, whatever God has given you, no one can take it. Whatever God has given you, no one can take it. No one can take it. All right. And so you go and do what's best for you. You do what works for you. You don't listen to all these people say, oh, no, that's not the way. That's not the way. Even the people you listen to on television, even the inspiration people, you do what works for you. And how you know if it works for you? Well, you try it out and you say, all right, well, let me get this a shot. And like I did with the religions, I tried all those damn religions out. And guess what? They didn't work for me. Okay. They didn't work for me. Well, actually, they did work for me. They let me see that all the answers is within you. And I felt like God was saying, you looking all around town for these answers. You going there, you're going down south, you're going to Africa, you're going to the Michigan, you're going all these different places, and the answers is in you. And guess what? When I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, let me meditate. Let me go within. Let me listen. Let me be still. Let me listen to what the divine has to say to me. Let me listen to that. Let me be guided. Okay. And I seen they was for me, but they wasn't for me. I know it sounds like a contradiction, but they was for me to let me see that the answers is not in a building. Hello, the answers is not, somewhere so far from you. The answers are actually within you. And with that being said, I love you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe. Keep going, keep flowing. Okay. Until next time. Peace.
I was reading the text messages.